up here. So 2 windows open, your topology, which is where you'll be working in. And then we have kind of an explanation document that goes over objectives and background scenario. And it's good to read, informative, but what we're going to concentrate on in all the homework throughout the week are the objectives. So in testing connectivity, these are good steps to go through, especially if you do not have a good background in networking or if you need a little bit of a refresher, but they're not scored. Okay? Trust me, if you go through the testing the connectivity, it will work, it should work. Right? But by the time you get to any step that says configure, that is going to be scored. Okay? So here in step 2 it says configure R1, 2, and 3 as NTP clients. Alright? So NTP stands for Network Time Protocol. And Network Time Protocol is very important to synchronize all the clocks and all your different devices, routers, switches, access points, servers, you name it, throughout your environment. Okay? So what we're going to do here is we're going to take all 3 of these routers and synchronize them with a single NTP server, which is right here, 192.168.1.5. Okay? Now, if you go back, let me show you how easy this is, to your lecture slides. There we go. Configure NTP and enable actuate. Using NTP. Network Time Protocol. So 62, 63, we look at setting our clock, and we have an NTP server and an NTP client. So in this, all right, R1 here on the left is the NTP master or the NTP server, and R2 will be the NTP client. So in this case with our homework, that server is actually our NTP master or our master clock. So we've got to point our routers at it, and we use the command NTP server and then the IP address of that NTP server. Okay? But you also have to kind of, a little bit of a refresher here, you have to kind of understand how to navigate the command line a little bit on each server. So let's go ahead and take the first router that's closest to the NTP server. And all you have to do is click on it. In addition to the steps that are outlined, it also tells you all of the different usernames, passwords, everything else. So your password for SSH, Telnet, etc. would be Cisco VTYP855, and your enable password to get into what we call privileged exec mode is Cisco ENPA55. Let me show you how that works. So let me go back to R1, and I'm going to click on the CLI tab, and this basically is the command line. And I want to get into privileged exec mode. I have to type in enable. Okay, and it's going to ask for that password. So Cisco ENPA55. It will not show you the letters. When you type it in correctly, your prompt will change from a greater than sign to a hashtag. Okay, that is how you know you are in privileged exec mode. You want to get out of privileged exec mode? You type in disable and it takes you back. Okay? Now, network engineers are some of the laziest people on the planet, as are Linux people. So they make it even easier, where you only have to type EN and it'll do the same thing. Your password you still have to type out. Okay? All right, and to get out of it, you just type in D. I think it's DIS. Oh, DISA. Okay, even lazier at that, you don't even have to type it in if you typed it in previously. You can hit the up arrow and look for the command that you did prior. Again, this still won't work with passwords. Still got that password. Okay. All right, so that's how to get into and out of privileged exec mode. Now we need to get into global configuration mode. Global configuration mode. All right. And that is where we can actually do some commands for configuration. All right. So here's one keystroke that you should remember forever. All right. It has saved my bacon so many times I've lost count over the last 25 years. And that's the question mark. If you hit the question mark, that will pull up the help menu. And the help menu will tell you all the different commands that you can run in that mode you are in. So this will look different if you are in just standard disable mode than if you are in privilege exec. It's going to look different if you're in global configuration mode. It's going to look different if you are inside of an interface, configuring that interface. It's going to look different if you are inside of a routing protocol and you are configuring a routing protocol. Okay, so it's always going to change depending on where you are in the command structure of the device. Okay? I've been doing this for 25 years. I don't remember all the commands. I don't expect you to as well. So use the tools that you can. Okay? You can also autocomplete. I showed you the up arrow. So if I hit tab, it works just like Linux. It will tab complete. Okay? But I need to get into global configuration mode. Oh, looky there. Configure. All right. So if I type in configure, oh, it's going to say from terminal, memory, or network. Terminal is the default. So if I hit enter again, it will go there. All right. If I type exit, I can get out of it. If I hit the up arrow and just type in comp space terminal, all right, I can just hit T, I can get back in. Comp T is what we basically, that's the short terminology for it, to get into global configuration mode. Again, I want to get out of it, back to privileged exec mode, I can type in exit, all right? Up arrow, back in. There are also certain shortcuts that they have enabled in the command interpreter. All right? One of the quick ways is to get all the way from wherever you are back to privileged exec mode. So let's just say I want to go into one of the interfaces. Okay, so I went into fast Ethernet 00. All right, but I do whatever I'm doing in there, and I want to get back out. Well, I can type exit twice if I want to, or if I can type exit once and then hit up arrow and hit enter again, or I can use a shortcut. So the shortcut to get all the way back out is Control plus Z. The Control button plus the Z button will take me automatically back out to privileged exec mode. I don't expect you guys to get this right out of the gate. Some of this is testable, a lot of it's not. All right? It's just, I'm trying to pass on some knowledge here. So let's go back in and configure the network time protocol. So let's go back into global configuration mode. And per our slides, all right, we're going to look at doing NTP server and then the IP address of the NTP server. So it looks like the IP address of the NTP server is 192.168.1.5. Okay. NTP server 192.168.1.5. All right. Let's do the same thing here on R2. So we'll click on R2, go to the CLI tab. The enable password is the same on all the routers. Type in EN or enable, Cisco ENPA55. Global configuration mode, conft, and NTP server 192.168.1.5. Okay. Now, if you go back and you bring up the directions, you'll see here at the bottom left you have a check results button. Click on that. You can now look at your activity, and you can go to assessment items, and you can see how many points are in the assessment and how many points you've completed. So here I've set the NTP client on R1, hey, and R2, but I haven't done it on R3. I'll let you guys do that. Okay. Can't give you everything, right? All right. To get back out of this and into the router again, just hit X. It'll pop back up. Okay? So let's look at the next step. Configure routers to update their hardware clock. Okay? So configure R1, R2, and R3 to periodically update the hardware clock with the time learned from NTP. Okay? So with that, we can look at, there's the clock set, which we don't have to worry about because NTP will do that. It's one of the services. Hang on. Recovery. All right. It's all right. I've done this before. I thought it was in there. So we want to update the clock. So here, it is service. Clock, time zone, EST, -8. There's ways you can do it, or I thought it was a service command. Hang on, you're gonna drive me insane. Once you set up clocks, you pretty much don't ever do it again. Calendar command. That was one of them. I thought there was another one though. I thought there was a second one. Because there's one for the calendar down here a little bit. We'll skip over, we'll come back to it. Oh, configure timestamp service for logging it on all routers. That's pretty easy. That's service, timestamps, log, date time, MSET. That'll do the date, that'll do the timestamp updates. Okay, so that's the service for step 4. Again, step 2, 3, and 4 has to be done on all routers. Okay. Service, timestamp, log, date, time, MSET. NTP update calendar. That's got to be done on all of them. Part 2. Configure your routers to log messages to the syslog server. Okay, so let's get the IP address of the syslog server from the topology. This is actually a really easy one. So the syslog server is sitting at 192.168.1.6. So I'm just going, I'm really neglecting R3, that's okay. So to set up logging, it's the command logging, and then the IP address of the syslog server. That's about it. Again, logging 92.168.1.6. Create, I'm sorry, skipped ahead there. You can verify logging with the show logging command. All you guys did on your own, that's not created. Exam logs of the syslog server. Again, I'll let you guys do that on your own. That's not graded. So, but it's good to kind of get a feel for the environment. Part 3, configure R3 to support SSH. So, okay, now I'm not going to neglect R3. You open up R3. Again, Cisco ENPA55. And back here. And they want us to configure a domain name of ccnasecurity.com. Okay? So to configure a domain name in global configuration mode, IP domain dash name. There's a lot of domains here, that's why it wasn't auto-completing. IP domain dash name, and then the name of the domain, ccnasecurity.com. Please spell it correctly, because if you don't spell it correctly, it won't work. So let's just show this for a second. Don't security dash o, yeah, something like that, right? They'll still take it, but it's not correct. So if you goof up like that, don't freak out. There's an easy way to get out of there. All right? So you can go back to privileged exec mode, or you can actually look at the running configuration from anywhere. Okay? If you are in privileged exec mode, the command is show run, or just simply sh space run. So find the command that you goofed. There it is right there, look. Okay? And all you simply have to do is highlight it, copy it, go back into whatever mode you were in when you configured it. In this case, it was global configuration mode. Type no, because no will take it out, and then paste it in. Now, again, we're lazy as network engineers. I could go back to privileged exec and do show run, but I can actually do anything in privileged exec in any configuration mode by simply preempting the command with do, D-O, and then sh run. And that will show my running configuration. And you will see that that command is no longer there. It would have been right there, around IPSH SSH version. Okay? So let me put the command in correctly. All right? IP domain dash name ccnasecurity.com. Okay. Step 2, they want you to create a user ID of SSH admin. Please denote the case. It is case sensitive when you make usernames and or passwords. With the highest possible privilege level and a secret password of Cisco SSH PA55. Okay? Now, there are 2 different types of password denominations, if you will, in iOS. All right? There's password and there's secret. You can create a user with a password that is an unsalted, simple hexadecimal hash. If you use secret, it will use a salted MD5 hash. Let me show you the difference and the importance between the 2. So let me go back to R3. To create a user, you type in user. It's short for username. And then the name of the user, SSH admin. All right? And then privilege level. So with that, you just type in privilege or PRIV. If you don't know what privilege level is the highest one, guess what you can do at this point?
Help.
Question mark. Very good. Somebody said it. Good. 0 to 15. So which one do you think is the highest privilege level? 15. Very good. All right. And then I can do password or secret. Let me show you the difference here. Password, and what do you want the password to be? Cisco SSH PA55. Enter. All right. Now if I do a show run, there's my enable secret. See how the enable secret has this really long password? But look at, oh, wow, it didn't even encrypt it. Well, that's not good. All right? Case in point. They'll want you to do this later on, okay? But it's just a good practice. See where it says no service password encryption? Well, we want to encrypt it, okay? This is a big pet peeve of mine, okay? This is an easy way to lose points if you don't do this. Everybody understand? I got everybody's attention now, good. All right, so one of the things you need to do from global configuration mode, service, password dash encryption. Now let's look at the running configuration. There it is, right there. See, that no's gone. And oh wow, look. Oh, here's the difference. You see this type 7 password? What's the difference between this password and this password? Who recognizes the difference?
You can probably Google that password and find out.
I could Google that password? You're absolutely right, I could Google that password. That's exactly where I'm going. You been talking to other students?
No.
Okay. All right. This is an unsalted hexadecimal hash. This is a salted MD5. Okay? That's a message digest. So, to his point, Google, let's just go type. Yeah, I've done this before. All right, so let's go ahead and take that, copy it, paste it in here. Boop. Cisco SSHPA55. Don't ever use a type 7 password. Okay? Don't ever use a type 7 password. They're teaching you to use a secret instead, a secure, what they call a secure secret. So to change that, okay, all I did to get back out of that was I hit Q and it takes me back out to my previous prompt. Bring that up, and I'm going to type in no in front of it. That will take it out. As you can see, the user's gone. Okay? Hit Q again, get back to global configuration mode. Hit up arrow a couple of times till I have it. And instead of putting password, I'm going to take password out. I'm going to type in secret. All right. And look at my running configuration. And now you see, wow, user password is gay. Here we go. Step 3. Configure the incoming VTUI lines on R3. Use the local user account for mandatory login and validation to accept SSH connections. Okay, so how we're going to do that is we're going to go into, if we go through the config, here at the bottom, we see that we have line VTY04, there's our 5 virtual terminal lines. We have login and we have a password set. Here, use local accounts for login validation, accept only SSH connections. We have to get into those lines first. So how we're going to do that is we're going to type in line VTY04, just like it is in the config. Our prompt changed. We are now in line configuration mode. And we're going to issue the command transport input SSH. That means it will only accept the SSH protocol coming in as an acceptable communications protocol. All those others, well, there's only telnet. It won't accept it. All right. And then we have to tell it that, okay, we want you to check the local users. Yes?
Is there a reason you're putting enter, like, mid-word?
Enter mid-word.
Yeah, like, you type transport, like, halfway, then you put enter. Oh.
Yeah, I just hit tab complete. So I did like that, and I tab, I hit question mark. So it had input and output. That's the complete command. I could do the same thing with trans in SS done. Even trans in S. Okay? Because once it recognizes the command, once it's unique, you don't have to type anything else out after that. All right, so I want to do login local. So local password checking. There we go. That's it. Now if I do a show run, back down those lines, see that I have login local, transport SSH. Any existing RSA key pairs should be erased on the router. There are none. Okay? And then we need to generate our cryptographic key for SSH. So, I'm going to type exit once to get back to global configuration mode and do the exact command. Now, in some of the homework, and you will see this in, I'll give you a clue about this in later weeks. They're going to give you exactly what to type. Okay, I think in like week 6 or week 5, I can't remember which week. It's like right after your midterm. I take pity on you. I give you a homework assignment that takes you all like 5 minutes. Like the easiest 40 points you'll make in class. You quite literally go into one router, you type in 2 commands, and you're done. Just got to go into Blackboard and submit it. Okay. So there are a couple of homework assignments. I think week 9 or week 10, as everything is going crazy and everything else, that entire assignment, it gives you every last command you put in. You just have to go through and do it. You go through the steps. You learn how to put in the VPN configuration, but it's spoon featured. Okay, that's again kind of by design too. Because I know by week 9, week 10, our minds are mush. We've been studying for finals, we've been writing papers, yada, yada, yada. Guess what? I used to sit here too. So I take pity on you. Anyway, let's get back to this. Crypto key generate. RSA, enter. Wow, looky there. How many bits do you want to do? So they want you to do at least 1024, which is fine. All right, and it comes back to your command prompt. And then they want you to verify the show IP SSH. It's enabled, version 199, that actually means version 2. All right, good. Then they want you to kind of configure it a little bit further. They want you to do the timeouts. So the default SSH timeouts and authentication parameters can be altered to be more restrictive. Set the timeout to 90 seconds, the number of authentication retries to 2, and the version to 2. All right, so IP SSH timeout 90, IP SSH version 2, IP SSH retries, authentication retries 2. Did I get everything? I think I did. Timeout to 90 seconds, authentication retries to 2, version to 2. Okay. If you read into the question, it kind of gives you a hint as to the command that you need to use. They don't try to make this hard. And then attempt to connect to R3 via telnet from PCC. You should get dropped because we only allow SSH. Okay, again, that's not scored. Connect to R3 using SSH on PCC. From the PC, you can type in this command. You should be able to connect. Again, that's not scored. But you can try it, walk through it. Connect to R3 using SSH on R2. So they give you the command for that as well. And let's go ahead and check results. See where we're at. Wow, I think I gave you like all but 5 points. Okay, and that's because I didn't do like the update calendar on a couple of them. Service timestamps on R3. The NTP I didn't do. Yeah. The syslog I didn't do on R3. So I did cover it on R1, some of it on R2. So you can kind of finish that up. So let me show you how, and this is kind of by design, I want to go over my grading methodology. So let's just say, for argument's sake, that you finish this up and for whatever reason, man, I just could not get those last couple questions, Professor Brown. You drive me insane. That's okay. So let's just say that I got 22 out of 27. Well, each homework assignment is worth how many points? Who read the syllabus? 40. Very good. So here's how it works.